Right now on Jamaica News Page tonight, a major search is underway for a Portmore police constable who went missing after leaving home to visit his girlfriend in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Tonight, investigators reveal new developments in the search. Also developing tonight, a tragedy in Mandeville. A nursing student and a water delivery man are gunned down while riding in a taxi. Tonight, a manhunt is underway for the gunman, who police say was also a passenger. We're tracking the latest developments. And
Guys, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
chaos outside a New York City immigration court building. This man sets a fire, ignites fireworks, and fires a pellet gun outside this federal government complex, injuring 3 people. What you need to know right now about your upcoming immigration hearing at the facility. Plus, there's good news tonight. From darkness to light, hundreds of Jamaicans regained their sight through a life-changing medical mission at the Kingston Public Hospital. The partnership restoring vision and hope to these patients. Welcome or welcome back to Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica, and we're powered by viewers just like you. Please click subscribe and tap the notification bell to stay connected. Thank you for joining us. Winsome Foster. Jamaica News Page tonight starts right now. We begin tonight in St. Catherine, where the Police High Command has launched a major search for a missing police constable amid growing concern over his welfare. Investigators are searching for Constable Kevin Williams, who is assigned to the Waterford Police Station in Portmore. Jamaica News Page understands that Constable Williams left his home on Saturday, July 18, 2026, to visit his girlfriend on St. John's Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. However, investigators have not disclosed whether the constable ever arrived at his girlfriend's home or whether they have spoken with her. After he failed to return home and missed his scheduled 6 o'clock shift on Saturday evening, concerned relatives reported him missing at the Caymanas police station the following day, Sunday, July 19, 2026. Jamaica News Page has learned that investigators have since made telephone contact with a constable who is believed to be at an undisclosed location on the western side of the island. However, it's still unclear how he ended up there or what led to his current situation. Investigators are urging him to immediately report to the nearest police station or disclose his exact whereabouts so officers can determine his welfare and the circumstances surrounding his current situation. It's also unclear whether the constable has made any contact with his family. At this time, investigators have not indicated whether foul play is suspected. Investigations are ongoing. Now to developing news out of Manchester, where investigators are searching for answers following a shocking double murder that has left an entire community in disbelief. Police have launched a manhunt for a gunman who they say boarded a taxi as an ordinary passenger before carrying out a deadly shooting moments later. The victims have been identified as 24-year-old nursing student Denikia Ponal and a 21-year-old water delivery man Sadifa Henry, both from Hearties in the parish. According to investigators, the suspect was traveling inside the taxi with several other passengers before getting out at an area known as Horseshoe Curve along Caledonia Road. Police say he then suddenly turned and opened fire on the vehicle. Both victims, who were seated in the rear of the taxi, were struck during the attack. They were rushed to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where Pona was pronounced dead on arrival. Henry later succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment. Police say 7 people, including the driver, were inside the taxi at the time of the shooting. Investigators admit they're still struggling to determine a motive. A senior police source described the attack as senseless, noting that the gunman paid his taxi fare, collected his change, exited the vehicle, and then immediately opened fire. Residents who knew both victims say they lived in neighboring apartments and described them as quiet, respectful young people whose deaths have left the community stunned. The double murder pushes Manchester's homicide tally to 20. The incident comes just days after Area 3 police expressed confidence that murders across Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Elizabeth would remain below last year's figures under Operation Reset. Senior Superintendent Shane McCullough says Area 3 has recorded 58 murders since the start of 2026, and he's convinced the region will finish the year with fewer than 94. And news just in, Jamaica News Page has learned that a man who was detained in connection with a double murder has now been released. The man was reportedly questioned and then released from police custody Monday afternoon. Investigators have not disclosed what information was obtained during questioning, and no charges have been announced. As the search for the gunman continues tonight, investigators are appealing to anyone with information to contact the Manchester Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-962-2832, Crime Stop at 311, Police Emergency at 119, or the nearest police station. We turn now to New York City, where security has been heightened following an attack outside this federal government building that houses immigration courts, Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE offices, the FBI, and several other government agencies.
Guys, oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Get away from there! Oh my God, get away from there! No, 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 get away from there! Oh my God! Get away! Oh my God!
Today, just before 9 a.m., a man by the name of Andrew Arabaka arrived at 26 Federal Plaza, just behind us on Worth Street, at the employee entrance to the building, where he ignited gasoline. He poured gasoline onto the ground and ignited it with a lighter and an incendiary device. That device was a firework, a large firework in a canister. That proceeded to catch on fire, pretty big flame as you've seen on the internet. He then pulled out an airsoft rifle and fired 5 to 7 pellets, if you will, in the direction of 26 Federal Plaza.
Police say the suspect was also carrying multiple weapons, including 2 axes, 3 fixed blade knives, a hammer, and a machete. 3 people suffered injuries during the incident. Among them was a civilian who had arrived at the building for an immigration court hearing. Federal officials say 2 government employees were also hurt, while another bystander sustained minor injuries from the fireworks. The officials say none of the injuries are considered life-threatening. The FBI says Arabaka made anti-government and anti-American statements following his arrest and allegedly told investigators he did not care whether anyone was killed. Investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, if you have an upcoming immigration hearing at the facility, officials are urging you to keep checking official channels like uscis.gov for any updates. As of news time, authorities had not announced any cancellations or changes to scheduled proceedings. And back here in Jamaica, we're following new developments involving the Guardsman group and the family of one of the employees who was critically injured in a devastating explosion nearly 2 months ago. One of the men severely burned during the May 27 explosion at the Guardsman garage compound on South Camp Road has died. He has been identified as 43-year-old Damien Walters. Walters had been receiving specialized treatment at a burn center in the U.S. state of Georgia after suffering extensive third-degree burns in the explosion. He was one of 3 employees airlifted overseas following the blast. Another injured worker died shortly after the explosion. In a statement Monday, the Guardsman Group expresses deep sadness over Walters' passing. The company says he received specialized care from a highly experienced medical team specializing in severe burn injuries. However, despite what it describes as tireless medical efforts and the unwavering support of his loved ones, his injuries ultimately proved too severe. Guardsman says it remains committed to supporting Walter's family during this difficult time. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. And finally, tonight, there's good news tonight. For 345 Jamaicans, life looks dramatically different tonight. Patients who had been living with severely impaired vision are now seeing clearly again after receiving free cataract surgeries during a 5-day medical mission at the Kingston Public Hospital. The surgeries were performed through a partnership between specialists from Duke University and KPH's ophthalmology team. Working side by side, the doctors completed hundreds of procedures for patients who had been waiting for the life-changing operations. Consultant ophthalmologist Dr. Michelle Layton describes the mission as an overwhelming success. She says beyond restoring sight, the initiative has significantly improved the quality of life for patients while also strengthening collaboration between local and international medical teams. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Trevor Bygrave says the effort restored sight, renewed hope, and transformed hundreds of lives through compassion and partnership. The mission was spearheaded by Zion Care International, a New York-based charity founded by Jamaica-born Bishop Craig Brown, working alongside the Jamaica Medical Foundation and several healthcare partners. As the Kingston Public Hospital celebrates 250 years of service, this mission stands as another reminder of what collaboration, dedication, and compassionate care can achieve. Congratulations to the medical teams, the supporting foundations, and most importantly, the patients whose lives have been transformed with a gift of sight. If you or someone you know received one of these life-changing surgeries, please leave a comment below. We'd love to recognize you or your loved one with a shout out in an upcoming newscast. And that's the news on Jamaica News Page tonight, news that keeps you connected to what's happening across Jamaica, and we're powered by viewers just like you. Please leave a comment so we can welcome you with a shout out. Thank you for joining us, Winsome Foster, and also thank you for watching Jamaica News Page tonight. We'll see you in the comments, and be sure to like, share, and join us again for more news. From all of us here, good night.